Hello, all. So, got a new story today. It says here a former post office supervisor breaks into tears as he's sentenced to prison for stealing checks. Now, that's interesting to me because I would think that would be the first rule of working in the post office is not to steal anything from the packages. But hey, he's a supervisor, so he can break all the rules.
Hundreds of checks stolen from the mail at a local post office, and it turns out it was an inside job. This afternoon, we now know the post office supervisor at the center of the crime spree will be going to prison. Senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel was in federal court and explains how long the postal worker will spend behind bars.
As James Lancaster climbed the stairs to the federal courthouse in downtown Indianapolis, he was hoping a judge would offer leniency for a crime that crippled businesses on the northwest side of Indianapolis.
There's no leniency for that.
While Lancaster was the customer.
I remember going to the post office and I've seen like the signs, like they take that stuff really seriously. Like there's no getting around that. You're done.
Service manager at the new Augusta post office, he started taking checks right out of the mail. Court records show he stole at least 272 checks worth at least $1.7 million from 59 different businesses, hospitals, utilities, car dealerships, a cancer research center, charities, and other local businesses.
Why would you do that?
All suffer.
What I don't understand is why would you do that, considering that the money has to go to somebody. Like they will know where it went. They will eventually do accounting and they will know who took the money. Your bank account is not anonymous.
Suffered significant damage when their checks were stolen from the post office and sold online. The owner of Fine Promotion.
He sold the checks. That's the rub right there. That's the smart move. I didn't even think of that. I'm not a good criminal, I guess.
Says his business was impacted for months.
It's hard for anyone to understand what the business interruption is like to shut down your checking account. And plus, we had to change how we were doing business because we could no longer trust the post office.
After 13 investigators reported on the rash of stolen and altered checks, federal investigators quickly focused on Lancaster, who admitted taking the checks and providing them to two accomplices in Illinois. Lancaster pled guilty to mail theft and conspiracy to commit bank fraud. Wednesday morning at his sentencing hearing,
That's some serious charges right there. Wow, he pled guilty.
Lancaster cried as he told a federal judge, "I want everyone to know I am truly sorry for everything that's happened."
Oh, he's sorry. You're in court, sir. You're not before the victims having a conversation. Your apology means nothing.
"I am embarrassed and ashamed of my own actions." His attorney asked the court to not send Lancaster to prison. The judge did not agree. Judge Tanya Walton Pratt said Mr. Lancaster was in a position of trust at a busy post office, but showed nothing other than greed and disregard of the victims. She told the former postal worker, "It's important that individual victims see justice was served in this case." The judge sentenced Lancaster to serve 40 months behind bars.
Oh my gosh, it should be at least twice.
40 months? That's it? For almost $2 million, I mean, might be worth it. People might not see that money in a lifetime. I mean, if that's what kind of time you're gonna get.
Twice that.
Rob Fine believes that penalty is much too lenient.
He knew what he was doing, and he did it 200 times, for God's sakes.
Lancaster will begin serving his sentence within the next several months. He did not want to talk with
He's crying. He is crying. Wow.
News after his court hearing, but he did tell me again he's sorry for his crime and that stealing the checks was, in his words, a big mistake. U.S. Attorney Zach Myers sees it differently.
Stealing almost 250 checks from the mail to the tune of almost $2 million. That's not a mistake. That is a series of repeated choices, a persistent.
Yeah, he didn't accidentally fell on the checks. He kept stealing them and selling them. That's it's premeditated, man.
Pattern of felonious criminal behavior that the defendant chose to engage in every time he stole yet another check. So, I don't think that any argument that this was simply a mistake, has any validity.
This case may be over, but the impact on the U.S. Post Office will likely last much longer. Some of the victims we spoke to say they simply don't trust the post office anymore and will no longer do business.
No longer do business. What's your alternative? UPS? Anyways, that was crazy, man. Supervisor. Imagine that dude being your supervisor, and every time there was like an investigation about this, he's giving you a hard time. Like, got some supervisors that are up to some nonsense, and they still get mad at you like you did it. Anyways, until next time.